I'm Natsuhiro Maruyama. I'm a musician and a student studying at the California Jazz Conservatory in Berkeley, California. Right now I'm visiting my hometown Tokyo for the summer.
So I was born in Nerima in Tokyo, and I used to live in a little apartment in Itabashi until I was 7. So my childhood is half Tokyo and half Michigan. Over in Michigan, I lived in a city called Novi, and when I moved back to Higashimurayama City of Tokyo, and I've been living in Higashimurayama since then. When I first moved to Michigan, I didn't know any English and I didn't have any friends over there. Luckily, my neighborhood had a couple of Japanese families, so I was able to communicate in Japanese at first, and they would help me in school as well, which was really lucky. But at the same time, I had a hard time getting along with Japanese friends just because they didn't have anything in common with me. I tended to like listening to music and watching American television shows, whereas they tended to like play video games and watch Japanese TV shows. And so even though they helped me out at first, after a few years I just started to play with some American friends, I would say, rather than Japanese friends. I participated in a lot of events organized by the school and school council, and I made a lot of friends, and it just changed my personality overall, because before that I hated Japanese people. I hated the Japanese culture, and I thought my identity was back in Michigan. But after I came back to Tokyo and enrolled in TGUISS, like everyone was so nice to me. Like I didn't know that Japanese people could be so nice, and I didn't know that Japan could be such a fun place. And every year we had sports festival and school festivals, and every year we would team up with a couple of friends from the same grade, and we would like brainstorm ideas to think of ways to like enjoy those festivals and events. And it was just so fun that I couldn't think of myself hating Japan after that. It was just a life-changing experience. I mean, nothing big, but every day was so fun. I was actually not interested in music at first. My mom does this Hawaiian hula performances, and I was asked to play Hawaiian percussion in one of her shows back in Michigan when I was like 9 or 10. But that didn't really interest me. I started to take drum lessons from my friend back in Michigan when I was 11, but that was because my mom recommended it to me. I never was really interested in it. And I quit that drum lesson after a couple of months. I went back to Japan. I didn't play drums for a while, and I turned 14, and that was when my friend asked me to join her band, which was part of this school activity. And so I reluctantly joined that band. I thought I was just gonna quit after one song. So we rehearsed this one song for this concert, and we did the concert, and it was just life-changing. I don't know why, I can't explain it in words, but it was just so fascinating. It just felt great that I felt like I couldn't stop, and I've been playing drums ever since then. I used to perform in front of audiences a lot, especially after I got into high school. I was the leader for my band club at the school, so I would schedule concerts after concerts, and we would usually perform at least once a month, maybe sometimes even more than that. A couple of my members hated that, but still I wanted to play, because playing is the best part of music. It's not practicing, but it's about playing in front of audiences and enjoying that atmosphere. That's the whole point of playing music. And outside of school, as I said, I used to play in a couple of venues within Tokyo. Well, actually, when I was 15, we, as a band, entered a Battle of the Bands competition in Tokyo, and we actually went to the semifinals, which was kind of cool. But there were lots of great players there, and we got our butt kicked in that competition. But that actually motivated us to practice more and play more. And so yeah, that's how I used to play in Tokyo. I think music is so important to me because that's like the only thing that I ever fell in love with. I used to take a lot of lessons other than music. I used to take tennis lessons, soccer lessons, golf lessons, swimming lessons, what else? Basketball lessons, baseball lessons, figure skate lessons, and they wouldn't last for more than a year. But I don't know why, but I've been playing drums for almost 6 years, seriously. And there's something about music that just resonates with me. I don't know why. I guess partly it's because of how universal it is. We can all dance to a rhythm if it's played well. And, we can all sing along to melodies. And, I think it's just that universal and how versatile it is. And just how much emotion you can put in to that art form. And I especially love it because music is one type of art form that never stays. It's played, it's done, and that's it. I mean, you can record them, but still, it's there at the moment and then it's gone. So I just love how quick and spontaneous it is. And that's one of the reasons I think I continue playing music. The reason why I chose to go to California, it was because, partly because my drum teacher showed me this school. He told me about this school. He introduced me to the dean of instructions of that school. They were good friends there. So that's part of the reason why. The other reason is because I was trying to look for good music schools that taught contemporary music, like jazz, rock, pops, in Tokyo and in Japan, but they were good, but they were kind of expensive, and there were a lot of students enrolled in those programs, and I felt like if we had 300 students and we only had like 10 teachers, like 10 good teachers, most of us would fall through the cracks and not really get anything. Whereas the school that I'm going to right now only has about 60 students in total, and we have about 20 professors, like really good professional musicians. So in some of the classes it's like one-on-one, even though it's not a one-on-one class. And when you're in an environment like that, you hardly fall through the cracks. We know everyone, they know each one of us, they know what we're good at, what we're bad at. And I just think that when you're trying to learn music, and especially jazz, when you're trying to learn music that's as sophisticated as jazz, you just gotta really be close to a pro and learn it from them. You can't learn it through a lecture in a gigantic hall. You just gotta learn it one-on-one, close by. And when you think of that, there was no choice. And plus, it was as expensive as most of the Tokyo's music conservatories would be. So I said, why not? So in general, American people aren't embarrassed to make mistakes. A lot of American musicians love to make mistakes and learn from them. In Japan, you can't really make mistakes. Making mistakes is one of the worst things you can do as a musician. So I think that's really helpful when you're studying music, because you're bound to make mistakes. Especially when you're playing jazz, it's all improvisation. So you're improvising on the spot, and you're bound to make mistakes. And if people stigmatize mistakes, you're not gonna really learn anything. You just try to avoid making mistakes, and that's not gonna help you play better. It's just gonna help you to play less and less and less. In America, that doesn't really happen.
My dream is to be an entertainer. I want to make people smile, and I want to inspire people by performing on stage. I don't want to limit myself to music or drums. I love to make people laugh through comedy and acting and dancing, so that's my dream. I think music is one of the few things that I really fell in love with. And I think it's one of the things that really changed my life and changed how I view the world. And I guess it's one of my favorite toys.